Greetings. Today is Monday, June 30th, so it's the last trading day of the first half of the year. And while the S&P 500 and a couple of other key indices made all-time highs last week, I'm going to show you that right now what we're seeing is a few strong bulls that are leading a very thin herd. But first, let me show you the S&P 500, and again, a reminder about the importance of understanding portfolio math. We had earlier this year a 21% decline, and you can see on the right-hand side, the S&P 500 had to rally more than 27% in order to get back to break even. This is why defense is so important, because losses work geometrically against you. But remember, the S&P 500, as traditionally reported, is cap weighted, which means the biggest stocks in the index give the biggest weight to the index's return. Instead, let's look at RSP. RSP is an equal weight S&P 500 ETF, so every stock in that index contributes an equal amount to the return. And what I want you to see is that it is not at all-time highs. The S&P 500 cap weighted, yes, that is at all-time highs as of last week, but RSP so far has not reached that. Now, the good news is we did see a breakout in the RSP ETF last week from this small price consolidation pattern over here. That's good news, but we're going to talk about overhead supply. This is a really key concept for you to understand. What I want you to do is imagine yourself right here and then look to the left. And what you're going to see is what we refer to as overhead supply. Now remember your lesson from Econ 101, supply and demand curves, okay? So if the demand for something is increasing, but there's limited supply, you're going to have an increase in price. Well, that's not what we see here. We see a demand, yes, there's a price increase. So there's clearly some demand for this ETF, but what's going to happen is all of these buyers over here, this is what are referred to as trapped buyers. This is supply that is going to be coming to market, and so it's going to be a little harder for RSP to hit those all-time highs. So we expect a little bit of a back and forth battle over the coming weeks or even months, perhaps. So now what I want to show you is an example of what we're looking for in our tactical model. So on the screen, I've got a security that's going to remain nameless because I'm not recommending that you buy it. I'm just trying to demonstrate what we've already done and what we're looking for. But what we saw is price increasing and then a consolidation. There's a battle between the bulls and the bears here, and it got really, really tight. So there's very little price movement on the right-hand side. But what we see is if we imagine ourselves right where that red dot is and we look to the left, we do see supply, but very, very limited supply. So this is what we're looking for in our tactical approaches, because we already see the increase in demand and now there's very little supply coming to market. So increase in demand, limited supply, the price should go up. So at the outset, I said that we see a few strong bulls leading a pretty thin herd. I'm going to show you what I mean. Remember, IWV is also cap weighted. So we do see that it is also at all-time highs. But look down here in the bottom pane. This bottom pane is showing the percentage of these Russell 3000 stocks that are above the 200-day moving average. So what this is telling us is only about 44% of the United States stock market is in an uptrend. So that's the thin herd that I'm referring to. But let's take a look at small cap. IWM is only the smaller cap stocks. And so what I'm trying to show here is that we've had this nice rally. We're at the 200-day moving average line, but we can again look to the left and we see a lot of supply. So we see a very thin herd. Only about 38% of the smaller company stocks are in that long-term uptrend, and we see a lot of supply when we look to the left. So that is going to suggest, it's not guaranteed, but it's going to suggest that the small company stocks are going to have a little bit of a battle to get back into that all-time high territory. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions on how we manage money for individuals and families, by all means, send me a message here on YouTube, or you can also connect with me over on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching.